Welcome to part 2 of the Kerby Rosanes Imagimorphia, and I'm on the pineapple pages. So I've been playing with my my inktense pencils, which I've put into the Derwent carry bag, and you get these sleeves or pages that you can put the pencils in. And they're quite nice because you can see what they're called, and you can pull them out and put them in when you want them. So they're quite handy. And I've actually taken out quite a lot for the pineapple fronds. I'm going to do both of them before I put them away. I'm going to work backwards then. So I'm going to work down here, then I'm going to go across and work back up there. So I've used cadmium yellow and golden yellow in the inktense for the fronds, because I've looked up on Google, and I found a pretty amazing colour scheme for a probably just underripe pineapple. So there's cadmium yellow in there, there's a cool yellow, there's apple green, and there's hooker's green, and there's a sky blue and some aquamarines in there as well. So got quite an array of colours in there. So I'm going to put those to one side because I'm going to be using them again. I'll zoom in a little bit, but I don't want to zoom in too much. So I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, although I can't hold my paintbrushes my paint pencils too much at the moment. So the next colour I think would be the apple green. Actually quite like this one, so this is going to use quite a lot of that, because I think a lot of this is kind of a bit of green. And you can mix them, you can go over the yellow if you want to, you can kind of do all sorts. I've kind of, oopsie, yeah, kind of so where the front is, it's darker from underneath. I've got kind of a bit of an apple green thing going on here, I think. And then you can darken it down with the hooker's green. And I'm just trying to get a little bit of colour into there. I'm not being particularly precious with it, because it's just a pineapple frond, so you can do a bit of manipulation with the paintbrush and then add some darker detailed colours if you want. The idea is just to get a little bit of colour in. Of course, them being all different, the greens can be all different as well, because no pineapple little section is going to be the same. And then in between it's quite dark, is that so? So, oops, So I just missed on here. And we've got Mr. Brew Frog, who seems to have kind of been a little bit pale, so we'll brighten him up a bit, I think. So we've then got Hooker's Green in the inktense. So this is going to be quite a nice green to kind of and they look quite pale now, but as soon as you activate them with water, these inktense pencils, I mean, you could leave them like this if you wanted as a pencil. That's the beauty of them. And I have to say thank you for watching, for all you YouTubers, and hope you find this interesting. This is a live show, live people, so I keep reading chat and interacting. So we are live at the moment on YouTube, Ustream.tv, and it's recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. And I'm finding it increasingly more difficult to kind of use my almost 50 years of collecting, well, not 50, probably 30. Although I do have things from when I was 16, so actually now it's about 35, 37 years. I've still got things from college, when I trained as a graphic designer before we had computers. So we had to draw everything by hand, ready for the printers. So it had to be absolutely perfect. Logos and all sorts of things like that, and magazine advertisements. The typeface we kind of cut and paste, but all the graphics had to be done by hand with very precise inking. Oh, it does look a bit pineapple-y, doesn't it? So I do have quite a big stash of things. So my idea was this year to get my middle daughter is at Manchester University doing an art course. So I thought I could donate some of my precious art materials and pencils that I can't use, and also, oh, that's quite nice, that dark in there, and also my other daughter, who I got into colouring last year when she was doing her O-levels, and she was getting rather stressed, so I bought her the Menagerie, and she did some wonderful colouring with my coloured pencils. Now I can't use them anymore, so I've decided to give her them, so I thought that would be quite nice for Christmas. So I've actually bought her the little Derwent bag. I can't get to them now, can I? Can I get to them now? So in mine I had these Derwent Colour Soft, which were gorgeous. But again, I just can't use them, and I certainly can't use them in the tin. So, as a stocking filler, I bought them the carry-all, the Derwent carry-all, and I bought them a couple of extra sleeves to go in them. So I'm going to keep my watercolour pencils. So I've got the Derwent inktense, the Derwent Derwent watercolour pencils, and I have some Derwent Graphitint, which are watercolours, and then the metallics. But all the others I want to give away to the girls, and I thought it would be quite nice to split all my pencils that I have, my coloured pencils, with them as an extra stocking filler. So that was my idea. So this is green. I don't think I put any in this one. This one, did I? No. So I've actually Googled a pineapple. So I'm using all these colours. So I hope my girls don't think I'm a tight... I am a tight Yorkshire lass. But they normally get lots and lots of stocking fillers, and of course they're 18 and 16 now, but so I've decided that I could, and as I say, one's doing a illustration, and so she can use the pencils, I think. Because I'm having difficulty using these pencils, but I've started this now, so I have to see. I kind of like the idea of putting some of this dark colour in. And you can put lots of colours together, lots and lots of colours. You can mix your own colours. You can scribble any amount of colours together and you won't get mud. And if you do that with any other kind of watercolour, you will get mud. So they are very versatile. And you can either leave them as a pencil or you can add water. I have lots of pastels as well, and Suzanne says, send me those pastels. I haven't decided what to do yet. I haven't decided whether to go digital, because my hands are getting quite bad now. We'll have to see. But they've always been kind of, not banned, but I've never let them use a lot of my things. I've bought the children's ones, but they're older now, so they'll be able to play with Mummy's big pencils. So I'm not putting a lot of pressure on here, a little bit, but not a lot. Seems to be some quite nice darks. And you can always go over them or add more. Seems to be quite a lot of nice colouring going on in there. So the next colour that I saw, I think was like I've got some oak and brown madder and the Shiraz. They were for the fronds. The pale blue was for the tops. little bit of kind of pale blue going on. I'm going to start at the top and work down. So I hope everybody's well and drawing. I think somebody, is it Suzanne that was working in this page? Hi Charlotte, welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just having a play in with the Derwent inktense. I'm just putting a few blues and greens into here now. So I've pulled out half a dozen, well 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I've pulled out a dozen actually, I've pulled out a dozen colours. So when I activate them with water, they should, in theory, become very vibrant. This is a very vibrant blue. Get rid of that one, and then we have dark aquamarine. I think that was kind of in here as well, wasn't it? So I really don't know, I've never done this particular way before like this. I did a couple of colours yesterday, but not 6 or 7. But I know you can do, it's just I don't normally work with the pencils like this, so to see what happens. So look at just a little bit more greens and bluey greens, and then we'll put, which is this one? This is, I've got enough of that. Right, we'll have a little bit of red in the middle now. So I think a lot of these frondsy bits, as I call them, these are the bits that if you don't cut off, they're not very nice. I'm going to do each one, and that could be a bark alert, because I think we have a postman. And unfortunately, Alfie is under my feet. Which is never good. It's not a good idea to have Alfie under your feet when you're streaming. And there is a postman close by. It's a bit early for our postman. So I've got 2 left. I've got oak and I've got madder brown. So I'm going to put a little bit of madder brown about to kind of darken these. This madder brown is a warm, reddy brown. So as I say, I've no idea what's going to happen with this. It could be a complete disaster. I'm in the Imagimorphia, Charlotte. So if you want to ask any questions, pop them in caps, because I read caps, but I just can't see from where I am because I don't have my goggles on, even though the laptop's next to me. So if you can pop everything in caps that you want to ask me, that would be fab. But if I miss it, normally everybody else says it as well. It's just, I'm quite lucky, my chat doesn't go past very fast. So I normally see things. Oops, I've just put, oopsie, I've just put, oh how lucky am I. I drew on my dragon's body by mistake. And it's rubbed off with an eraser, so that was quite lucky. Right, so this is, oh, now we should have oak now. So I'm going to put this in between everything else now. So when I activate this, I can do it all at once and I'm not messing about. So that will be quite nice. And I actually wanted to do this quite dark, which will take me underneath there, so that's quite nice. So I'm quite anxious to see what happens now. So that's what it looks like. Oops, now. And then I've got an array of paintbrushes here, so I've got 2 quite fat ones that I've been using. That was the little man under the desk. Right, so I think I'm going to be using the number 1 Daily Round Rigger, I think. I'll just have a go with this. So again, there's nothing under my arm, so that's quite good. So I'm going to start right at the top. So I'm just going to smush this round. And I've probably exaggerated the colours a little bit, but anyhow, that worked quite well. You always go in the pale first and then mix those up and then work around the edge. And this is quite nice, and this is the bit I like. This is the, you can manipulate the colour to go where you want. If you've kind of missed something, you can reconstitute it back. You can make these fronds now stand out by manipulating the colour. So you can actually, I'll zoom in and you can see how easy it is. I have to move my little book. Just make sure that I can see. It's actually better if I put it down. Oopsie. Like that. Always never good at, whoopsie. It's always never a good idea to move the camera when you have a paintbrush in your hand. So I've activated those, but not that one. And I'll just bring that back a second so I can sharpen it up a bit. I think that should be a bit better. Oh, sorry to hear that, Kangaroo. Take care, darling, won't you? Thanks for joining me. Hope you feel better soon. So I'm just going to activate these now. So I'm going to go behind the apple. And it doesn't matter if that's fairly dark, because you know, it is a bit of a dark area, and I can push that colour under there because we're not really sure what's going to go on under there anyway. I'm not quite sure what that is. So there's one here, and I've missed all the dark off this one, so I can go back in a bit and put some dark in it. So it makes a big difference, those last few colours. So we need to go under the dragon's body. And now these vibrant colours are kind of just popping out now. So start with the yellow. That's a little bit wet, but never mind. Start with the yellow. And we've got the darker yellows and the greens and the blues. just mind Mr. Frog's toes. I'll do this one next. So again, start with the yellows. Go up to there, the greens. Again, not really sure what's going on under there. Sometimes you just can't, or I can't just quite grasp what's going on. So I kind of guess. I guess a bit. So the yellow, and bring the green in. And paint the fronds in. This is where you can really kind of manipulate the colour to do what you want. So if you've got gaps with a pencil, that's fine, because now is the time to manipulate that colour. But I must have had 12 colours, 12 different colours, all watercolour, all mushed together, and I haven't got mud. And there's not many watercolours you can do that with. So if you've got any questions, pop them in caps. I'm going to do the black later, so I need to kind of concentrate on the pale areas first. You can tease out that throng. Oh, it's not a throng, it's a... Oh, I can't think what it is now, I've forgotten. It's a throng, isn't it? My brain's gone to mush. My little monster's under the table today. So let's hope he stays there. And again, it's quiet again because everybody's gone off. Daughter's gone to college, hubby's gone to work, and the dogs are really good. But if anybody's here, it's kind of free for all. But I think they know that I'm top dog, and if I tell them to sit down and shut up and go to sleep. But when I'm not here, it's every man for himself. The dogs are terrible, and they won't do as they're told. Now I went over the line there a little bit, but I can live with that. I'm actually using probably a bit too much water on here, so it's crinkled a little bit, just a little bit. And I don't know why I'm using a lot of water, because I don't need to use a lot of water. I just need to activate the colour and push it around. So there's a difference between the pencil and then when you've activated it in water. You've got to touch the pale ones first, because if you went the blue over that, you'd just go back to green. You'd lose your yellow. So try and do your pale ones first. I am actually stroking the water off, and then wiping it on my hand as well, because I really don't want to crinkle my pages, because I want that to be quite dry. And again, I like working with a dry brush. It doesn't wrinkle your pages. So this means that I've reinvented my watercolouring in the Bible very pale then, because now I can do anything I want now in the Bible, anything at all. So that's and watercolouring on a napkin has changed as well. There's nothing I can't do on a napkin now. So I've reinvented myself again. So I hope you found this interesting. As I say, I've had these pencils for many years and never used them like this at all, because I always thought I couldn't possibly do large backgrounds and spaces, but actually now I've realised there isn't any amount of space I can't do in a colour book, big or small. So you learn different techniques all the time by playing with your supplies. So I can now do backgrounds. So it's not the best thing, but I've scribbled a bit of colour in. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the other one exactly the same. I haven't decided yet. So now I'm just going to go around the inside now with this kind of quite dark, I think it was bark I used, wasn't it? And you can tell as soon as I've activated this colour, it's drawn on a fawn colour and then it's activated and it goes very dark. And I've actually missed one here, look. So just have to be very careful with Mr. Dragon's tail there. The end of his tail comes back out there. And while you're activating it, if you need a bit of colour, you've got a bit to just play about with. And again, I don't really want it too wet, just want to and that could be a bark alert. But I've turned the sound down now so that people don't get deafened when little man barks. and I managed to cut off the bark from last night, so that was good. That was quite good. So I think we could possibly put a little bit more colour on Mr. Frog. Yes, I think so. Oh, that's lovely. I don't do skin, I have to say. What book are you working in, Suzanne? Suzanne says she's working on a skin colour. I think I might do him, I think we might as well do him sky blue. I've actually got quite a lot of colour on here now, so when I take that down there, it's going to do his toes. I don't need to scribble colour down there because I've got enough. Same with here and his nose. But if I really wanted, I could go to a number 10-0 and just stroke in a little bit of colour. So, if I zoom out, we have our pineapple page. I think the light is better when I move the camera up. Oh, that sounds interesting, Suzanne. Planner cards. I've still got those to colour, haven't I? So I quite like that, but I might ask my daughter to, I think, to colour these. I've got some clouds. I never know what colours to do those. And a bit of greenery here. I'm going to put my pencils back. Oops. So we had a madder brown, and Shiraz doesn't go there. I think the brownie one went there. Oh, I missed Sandra. No, and I can't believe I missed it because I remembered a I just have a lot of problems with trying to watch people, because it's just the wrong time, and bless her, my daughter kind of needs my attention at that time, so I miss everybody, so it's a bit so I get very cross because I forget people. What did Sandra do? But she records, doesn't she? I'll be able to catch that up. And I remembered as well, and then I just have short-term memory loss. Think got my mind. Oh, I'll have to have a look at those. I'll have to have a look at those. I'll write that down, and then I don't forget. I have my what do you call it? Midori. Honestly, mouth and brain are not are not in the same gear. I haven't finished my little one yet. I need a pencil. And put it on a piece of. But she records, doesn't she? Oh, I thought I just pulled that off of there. Right. And put that on there. I'll have to have a look at that. In fact, that's probably what I'll do this afternoon, when because my daughter's gone away for the weekend, so there's half a tree in the room. I think I'm just going to do this green. I think I want to finish it now. I want to do this green. Again, I can just have a look. Fern's probably a good colour, but I think, yeah, fern's probably a good colour. Fern's at the bottom of that one, isn't it? Yeah, I think we'll get just get some colour in here, I think. And there's olive as well, which is quite a nice one. Can always have a bit of olive in there, just to darken things up a bit. Yeah, 2:30. Because I actually thought about streaming through the night. That's what I thought about doing, and then sleeping a bit during the day. But we'll have to see. I think most of the spots are taken up though during the night. So but I don't really plan. I try to have a bit of an idea, but I don't really plan. I just turn the camera on and colour. So again, although I like to do different things in different books, otherwise it gets rather boring watching somebody do the same thing over and over again. So I think I've gone a bit stale at the moment, so we'll have to just rejiggle things, I think. But the thing is with the Kerby Rosanes, they do take quite a while. Now I've done this in a couple of hours, but this is the fastest one. Some have taken me 5 and 6 hours, so again, it depends. I mean, I've just stroked Alfie with my foot. He's kind of... You want a bit of colour on there. We've got some little of those people, those little creatures. Not sure what I'm going to do with those, so we put these back 5, 50, 60, and right, so we've got some clouds. So we've only got the clouds to do and the little creatures. So we could do them orange. We could do them, oh, we could do them sienna gold. Sienna gold's a nice colour. Let's find sienna gold. I think we'll do these sienna gold. So if you want them dead flat colour, you just want a little pencil shading all around. And if you want, have we got any more little creatures? No, we've got clouds and we've got the little yellow ones. Might do those yellow, I think. So on the home stretch. Oh, fairies and princesses. That sounds good. Yeah, when my daughters were clearing out, when my other daughter was going to uni, they had a bit of a clean out, and they brought down the colour books that I'd bought them as kids that they hadn't used. And I looked at them and thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do with those. If I can put my hand on it. And then lo and behold, oh no, I've forgotten I got that one. Oh, that's a different one. Nope. I will find it in a second. It's hiding. Look at this one. This is Alice Blueberry's Fairy Colouring Book, and this I bought. I think the other one's got 99p written on it from the works, and I bought these for the girls, and she's had a bit of a go and won. But aren't these wonderful? So again, Tight Yorkshire Lass, I think I'm going to have to photocopy them. I have got 2 books, so neither of them what the other one is. That's it. Yeah. So neither one of them had actually drawn. Oh, somebody's done only one of them. So the paper's not fab. In fact, that's very strange. The paper. Oh, £1.50 from the works. So this feels rougher and this feels smoother, but aren't they identical? They do seem to be different paper. So I've got these to play with, so I thought these would be wonderful, especially with these inktense pencils. And I will tear these out because you can tear them out. But I must have had these a good 10 years. So the girls had, I think they are the same patterns. Let me have a look. I think they are. I used to buy them the identical things because they used to say we're twins, we're not sisters. Just trying to think how far the book we are. Maybe they are all different. There's some gorgeous patterns in them though. No, I think they are this. I think it's the same book. Yeah, it's the same book. It's exactly the same book. So these would be gorgeous. That's almost a nettle colour. Oh, it's a rose hip. So yeah, these could be really nice. So I'm going to do these with inktense as well. It's not newsprint, but it's, I mean, they've put a marker on, but it doesn't really matter because they are single-sided. What did one of the girls had done? That looks like it's a marker, and it hasn't gone through. And what was the other one done? But they've thrown out so many of them, and I managed to catch these. This is felt pen as well. So felt pen doesn't go through. Hardly even shows through. So that's good. That's good. So they'll be good to play with. And I haven't done a napkin journal yet, so I was thinking I could use a napkin. Oh, sorry, I've just knocked Puppy's back with my... Gee whiz, Puppy. I'm a long way away from the chair. Let me see if I can just move that. That's better. That's better. I wonder why it's got 4 foot under there. It's got at least 3 foot under there. Right, we've nearly finished this one, so I'm going to finish this. I'm not sure if I like the pineapple. I think it looks better on screen. I want to do a napkin journal, but I haven't found the right size. I'm desperate to do a napkin journal. But I thought they'd be quite nice in a napkin journal. Right, I've got my little orange men, and again you can see how vibrant they are. Oh dear, excuse me, it's because I had a coffee. I don't normally have coffees because they make me burp, so I apologise. I can drink 10 pints of tea, nothing but 1 coffee, and I have indigestion. So I've got some little men here, so they're a bit whimsical, so we need a whimsical colour. So sometimes it's quite a good idea to flick through and find a whimsical colour. I think we're going to have to use the fuchsia pink. I have a nice point on this pen and I've been wanting to use it for a while. So fuchsia pink, and again just a little bit of a very gentle, I think that's a flower, but I'm going to make it a little creature. And I do try not to go over there, but it doesn't always work. And there's a little one here. We want some colour in the centre of that one that we've missed. There's a star. It's not been so too bad, this particular page. Oh, thank you. I wasn't quite sure because there were so many colours. I wasn't quite sure if it was the right one, but so we've got some little fuchsia pink creatures. I just love the fact it's like magic painting. You just activate the pencil and you're just scribbling, which is wonderful. And then you just have this vivid colour just pop out and jump at you. It's quite nice. We may as well have a blue manta ray. I don't know what colours they are, but I think we're going to have a deep bright blue, sea blue, seeing as he should actually be in the sea. But what I'm going to do with him is I've coloured in where he's quite dark. I know you can't see particularly well there. Just see if I can zoom in a smidge. So I've got my damp brush. I'm actually going to activate this and then I'm going to push the colour around. But that's going to be darker, that one. So I need the clouds now. Oh, we have a little yellow star there, don't we? So we have sun yellow. So he's a sun yellow. It's just those silly clouds. I sometimes leave them because I never know what to do with them. I suppose they could be yellow, couldn't they? Could do some Sicilian yellow. Yeah. So just very gently stroking. It's almost scribbling. Just a little coating of there. I think that's the only one we have. I should pop that in there. Just move this out of the way so I can move this up slightly. So we have a cloud there. So again, I just giving the clouds a little bit of colour so they're not white. It's quite a pale yellow, is that one? I didn't realise it was so pale, but it's okay, it's there. And then we have one here. And I thought there was a, I don't know what's down here. I'm just going to probably put a bit of green on that. So I think that page is finished. I've got the two little men and I don't know what to do with them, so I'm going to leave them white. But I think I've finished that page. So I'm quite pleased with it. I think the next time I see it, it might grow on me. That I'm not quite sure about that. I think it'll grow on me. So I was going to do this next page, but I think I'll leave that. But it's okay. It's okay. Some things I really like. I got a quite nice highlight on there, and on some of the leaves there's some quite nice highlights. And I like the dragon. I managed to get some nice highlights on the dragon. So, and they were easier highlights than I normally do out of my little book. So this is another thing that I've learned to do. So it's all a learning curve. So I quite enjoyed doing it. Don't think I like the pineapple though. I think I like this, but you know, it's a pineapple colour. So that's the end of part 2, and the finished picture on the Imagimorphia book. Thank you for watching.